Welcome to the Cosmos Ecosystem News Roundup. Here are the top stories in Cosmos in the first half of September. dYdX V4 and native USDC imminent launch. The launch of the dYdX V4 chain mainnet in Cosmos is around the corner. What recent testnet updates were announced by dYdX? Why native USDC in Cosmos is launching at the same time as dYdX V4 launch? All the important information you need to know is in this episode. Liquid Staking Module Live. The LSM was introduced with the V12 Cosmos Hub update. What do you have to do as a validator, delegator, or a liquid staking provider? What are the risks, rewards, and implications of the LSM? What is a validator bond factor? All the important and time-sensitive details are in this video. Stride Atom and Osmo Delegation Program. The selected validators were announced. Why was the delay introduced? Because of the LSM? What are the next steps until delegations are deployed? Shade Protocol, MetaMask integration. Now, the over 30 million MetaMask users can directly onboard to the Secret Network ecosystem. What's next? Focus sections about Osmosis, Injective, Secret Network, Persistence, Chain 4 Energy, Juno, AssetMantle, Stride, and crypto regulations and compliance updates with MME. All this and much more in this episode. And now for today's top stories. The launch of native USDC in Cosmos around the same time as the mainnet launch of the dYdX V4 chain in Cosmos is not a coincidence. This is because all perpetual contracts in dYdX are settled and margined in USDC. Therefore, it is critically important that native USDC is available in the Cosmos ecosystem once the dYdX V4 chain mainnet launches. It was officially confirmed by both Circle and dYdX the imminent launch of native USDC in Cosmos via Noble. Moreover, Noble will act as a router for USDC transfers so that the UX for users will be enhanced with a one-hop route for USDC transfers between IBC connected chains. As the main is approaching, the dYdX V4 public testnet 2 was stopped on the 11th of September, and the testnet 3 was launched on the 13th of September. In addition, dYdX mentioned that future testnet updates will be done on-chain instead of performing network resets. This new testnet 3 introduces several new features such as MEV tracking to better identify malicious validators, stop and take profit orders, enhanced DDoS attacks prevention, updates about the supported markets, and other additional features. The upcoming callbacks middleware was announced. The key advantages of this innovation is a possibility to enable new use cases and improve the user experience. Mostly, it is related to the execution of follow-up actions directly from one click of the user, rather than users having to go through several steps. For example, instead of doing a transfer and then having to do a swap in several steps, all could be done directly after the first click of the user, greatly improving the UX and enabling new use cases. Thanks to callbacks middleware, you could do in one click a transfer and also stake, provide liquidity, or swap tokens. While currently, for example, it's required for users to first transfer tokens to Osmosis, then swap them, then withdraw, and so on in several steps. With this innovation, all could be done faster and in fewer steps, thus improving the UX experience for users. Previously, Wormhole announced their gateway chain in Cosmos for cross-chain liquidity. Then Wormhole was approved on Osmosis as a canonical bridge, and finally it was announced recently that now token bridging to Cosmos via Wormhole gateway is live. This means that, for example, that users can add liquidity to concentrated liquidity pools on Osmosis for Wormhole assets such as SOL or USDT. The ICF requested feedback from the community for the interchain stack roadmap. You can provide your feedback before October 1st via a form following the link included below. Moreover, you could also participate in the public consultation calls on September 18th and 19th. Below, you will find as well the link to the ICF article where you can find the current interchain stack roadmap. The Cosmos Hub V12 upgrade introduced the liquid staking module on September 13th. The LSM is a form of regulation for liquid staking providers. Firstly, the LSM introduces a limit of the amount of ATOM that can be liquid staked of 25% of the total amount of staked ATOM. This is to prevent liquid staking providers to collectively controlling 1/3 of the staked ATOM. Another feature introduced is the validator bond factor of 250, which means, for example, that with 1K ATOM marked as a validator bond, a validator is eligible to receive 250K in liquid staked ATOM from liquid staking providers. However, there are several important details about the validator bond factor. Firstly, even if a validator has ATOM as self-stake, this doesn't count for the validator bond factor. A validator bond message needs to be signed to mark ATOM as a validator bond. In addition, the delegators of a validator can also mark the delegation as a validator bond similarly by signing the validator bond message. However, all their staked ATOM will be marked as validator bond. Partial amounts are not possible. Moreover, whether ATOM marked as validator bond can be unbonded depends on the total amount of liquid staked ATOM in a validator and the total validator bond of a specific validator. Instructions were shared in the Cosmos Hub forum about how to do the validator bond, and we included below the link. It was recommended for validators to add the required validator bond as soon as the V12 upgrade was completed. This validator bond also introduced a delay in the Stride delegation program for the Cosmos Hub validator selection, and it is covered in detail in the Stride focus section. Another proposal was discussed as well regarding a new parameter to limit the amount of liquid staked ATOM of validators to 50% of their total staked ATOM. Following a discussion in the Cosmos Hub forum, it was decided to put a governance proposal to disable this parameter by setting it to 100% due to potential centralization risks and no previous discussions before the introduction of this parameter. Once the V12 upgrade happened, liquid staking providers for ATOM such as Stride, pStake, and others enabled users with staked ATOM to liquid stake these ATOM without unbonding via a simple UI. In addition, for delegators to do the reserve process, it seems they would need to swap ST ATOM in the case of Stride for ATOM and then stake the ATOM again. Since there is a 25% limit of the total amount of liquid staked ATOM, it seems that delegators might rush to liquid stake first before this limit is reached. Also, validators who don't add a validator bond might also lose delegators willing to liquid stake. Overall, it will be very interesting to observe and analyze the dynamics of all the different parameters and implications mentioned above during the next several weeks and months. The OmniFix TV app V1 was launched. Below we include the links to the OmniFix TV to view interactive videos and to OmniFix Studio to publish interactive videos. To get started with OmniFix TV, content creators need to set up the channel via OmniFix Studio. Then there is a one-time setup to mint video NFTs, and before a video is published, polls, questions, and other interactive features can be added. In summary, with OmniFix TV V1, it is possible to create channels minted as NFTs, transfer ownership, release interactive videos, engage and reward the audience, and more. OmniFix TV supports Kelper, Leap, Cosmos Station, and soon MetaMask wallet as well. Furthermore, additional features will be introduced in OmniFix TV V2, for example, smart contract-based channels. There were several governance proposals in Neutron. The proposal to execute the Duality Protocol merge, as well as received the goal, is to bring Duality Labs as a core team of Neutron and the Duality DEX as a core and exclusive infrastructure of Neutron. In our previous episode, we covered the motivations and reasons for this merge rather than Duality becoming another consumer chain. Another proposal was to launch a Neutron Grants program, which will consist of a grants lead and 3 or 4 reviewers. Moreover, to help teams on Neutron lacking the resources to have their contracts audited, a 12-week auditing package from Oak Security was proposed for a total of around $326,000. Furthermore, another governance proposal was added to engage both ICCRO and Crypto Crew as relayers. In particular, $90,000 per year for Crypto Crew for 50 network pairs and $4,800 for ICCRO for 14 network pairs. Cosmoverse is approaching on the 2 to the 4th of October in Istanbul, followed by the Hackmos Hackathon from the 6th to 7th of October, in which there will be several tracks with prizes. For example, a Neutron track with a prize of $20,000. Several side events also are planned. Skip Protocol announced the Proto Rev brings to Osmosis 350% more revenue than transaction fees, according to data from August. The highest revenue for Osmosis was from swap fees. In the Batch 16 of the Osmosis Grants Program, a total of $105,000 was awarded in funding to 3 projects. The main grant was for New Metric to provide RPC services with both enterprise-grade performance and at a reasonable cost. Also, DeFi Logic Labs received another grant to create several managed vault strategies for Osmosis supercharged liquidity pools. This tool will be useful for users who are new to concentrated liquidity to optimize yield or to participate in LPing more passively. There were several Juno governance proposals recently, but the main highlight is the Juno upgrade Vesta v17. This upgrade includes several major changes, such as new modules, 3-second block time, and more. In addition, new features and several fixes were also introduced with this upgrade. The Persistence V8 Pacaya upgrade was a success, and it brought several major updates to Persistence. The Cosmos SDK v47 with LSM was introduced, allowing transfer of stake XPRT between wallets and also soon XPRT liquid staking as well. IBC Go v7 was also introduced for easier pStake STK token expansion, and IBC hooks were also enabled, thus facilitating DEX's liquidity to be leveraged by DEX aggregators such as TFM. Moreover, Skip Protocol's POB, which enables MEV auctions, was also introduced in this upgrade. The packet forwarding middleware will also help with IBC transfers and onboarding upcoming native USDC. And there were some additional innovations and new features included in this V8 upgrade. Another upgrade called V9 Katmai was also successful to enable LSM support on pStake. This is to be ready for the Cosmos Hub V12 upgrade to enable liquid staking of staked Atom without the unbonding period via pStake, similarly to Stride and other Atom liquid staking providers. The Shade Protocol announced the official integration of MetaMask with their privacy-preserving DeFi platform. MetaMask is the largest crypto wallet with over 30 million monthly active users. This is great news since now Ethereum users will be able to onboard directly into the Secret Network ecosystem. Ethereum users are now able to both bridge tokens from Ethereum to Secret and also interact with Shade Protocol from their existing MetaMask wallets. This MetaMask integration also aligns with Secret Ethereum, which is previously announced initiative to bridge the gap between the Ethereum and Secret ecosystems. It was also announced that apart from MetaMask, integration with other Ethereum wallets is expected soon, such as Wallet Connect, Exodus, Atomic, and more, and support for Leap Wallet in Cosmos. It is as well expected soon. In summary, Ethereum users can now interact with the Shade app as if it was an Ethereum L2. And in addition, the Shade Protocol Ethereum bridge only requires one wallet rather than 2. Injective announced the integration with 𝐂𝐤, the leading L1 blockchain in South Korea developed by Kakao. This integration will allow native assets from both Injective and 𝐂𝐤 to be seamlessly used for several cross-chain initiatives in order to scale cross-chain interoperability, thus creating a more composable ecosystem for both Injective and 𝐂𝐤. Another partnership was announced with OneRPC for enhanced privacy protection of transactions on Injective, prevention of unnecessary metadata, exposure, and tools for developers for data sovereignty. One RPC enables dedicated endpoints to improve privacy and data relay options for users and builders. AssetMantle announced a partnership with MarsBase, which is a DeFi and OTC platform specializing in facilitating the exchange of various illiquid assets, such as, for example, illiquid tokens. Thanks to its OTC desk platform, MarsBase enables the buying and selling of MNTL without price impact or slippage. AssetMantle released an interesting article about the application of inoperable NFTs to enhance traditional governance processes. The article explains how a citizen is able to leverage a government-issued digital identity app to authenticate her identity, access information about land parcels, participate in discussions, vote securely, and verify the results of an election. Furthermore, AssetMantle announced the upcoming Cosmos first self-sovereign identity SSI. Lumos announced a partnership with AssetMantle for the Innovatathon with an NFT track to generate innovative ideas related to giving utility and rarity to NFTs. There is also a prize pool for the AssetMantle NFT track. The selected validators for both the Cosmos Hub and Osmosis were announced on the 7th of September. There was a few days delay due to waiting for some council members to finish the evaluations. Following the request from the community, Stride also released the list of the average scores of each validator. Once all the eligible validators have an average score, they are organized in 4 quartiles. So the top 25% of eligible validators by amount staked and so on, with each quartile having the same number of validators. For the Cosmos Hub, the average and median average score of validators was similar and around 5.2 out of a total of 10 possible points. In the first quartile, 5.8 was the minimum score to be selected as the 8th validator in this group, with a few validators in this group having a score of above 9. Then, in the second quartile, the minimum score to be selected was slightly lower, at 5.2, and there were only 2 validators in this group with a score of above 8, but none above 9. Then the third quartile was the most competitive, with a minimum score to be selected of 6, and in this group, 1 validator had a score of 9 and another one above 8. Finally, in the fourth quartile, the minimum score for selection was 4.6, and in this group, the highest score was 6. Overall, most validators had a score around the average of 5.2, with a few outliers having scores of over 8 or 9, and also a few outliers with scores of below 3 or 2. The on-chain Stride proposal to approve the Osmosis validator set was delayed until the 14th of September. But the main change was regarding the delay of the on-chain proposal for the Cosmos Hub. This was because of the LSM and the validator bond factor. Since validators need to have enough validator bond to receive delegations from liquid staking providers, Stride decided to give some time for validators to add their quasi-validator bond and then check all this data before putting the on-chain proposal to confirm the Cosmos Hub validator set. Stride mentioned that this validator bond could impact the validators that can be selected for the delegation program. C4E participated in 3 important conferences focused on the future of blockchain and green energy transportation. The first conference, Cryptosphere, happened on September 2nd with a focus on the blockchain industry in Poland. Other blockchain projects such as Algorand were also present in this conference. The second conference was the IAA Mobility from September 5th to 10th in Germany, with a focus on innovation solutions for the green energy transportation future. Notably, companies such as BMW or Audi were present at this conference. And some important networking was done by C4E in this conference, including a general consul of Poland or the CEO of Green Cell. Finally, the Nordic Blockchain Conference was held in Denmark on September 7th. This conference was focused on the future of blockchain, AI, and Web3. C4E participated in a panel titled Can Blockchain Accelerate ESG Adoption?, which was held together with Marco Troia, the CEO of the Neo Blockchain, Maria Pelch, a senior manager at Concordium, Christian Kor, the CEO of Carbon Link, and Bianca Lopes, a council member of IRCAI. C4E issued an article with updates regarding the criteria for a subjective strategic reserve delegation program. The link to the article with all the details regarding the updates is included in the description below. C4E also announced that there is a new qualification round underway for this delegation program in order to reward validators contributing to the project. It is still possible to register at the whitelist for the EV charging solution program. If you would like to register, you can follow the link included below. New York court calls ETH a commodity. On August 29, 2023, the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, classified the popular cryptocurrency Ether, or ETH for short, as a commodity. In a case against the decentralized cryptocurrency exchange Uniswap and its founder Hayden Adams. The lawsuit filed in April of 2022 alleges that the Uniswap protocol trading platform violated U.S. securities laws by failing to register as an exchange or broker-dealer, and by offering and soliciting securities on an unregistered exchange by a group of investors. With the lawsuit, investors have accused Uniswap of losing investment funds due to scam tokens issued and traded through the protocol. The tokens named in the lawsuit include the Ethereum or ERC20 token, Ethereum Max or EMAX for short, Bezorg, and Alphabet Finance or AWF for short. While the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, have so far shielded away from calling ETH a security, Judge Catherine Polk-Fiea, who is also overseeing the SEC's case against Coinbase, called ETH a commodity in her opinion. While her comment is not a clear ruling on legal classification of Ether in the United States, however, the lawsuit could influence future litigation against decentralized protocols. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF for short, and the Financial Stability Board, FSB, together with the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, and other international organizations and standard-setting bodies, have issued joint policy and regulatory recommendations for crypto assets at the request of the G20. The paper includes recommendations for the regulation of activities related to stablecoin and decentralized finance, or DeFi for short. Crypto assets have displayed significant volatility, and along with that, other crypto asset activities have also grown in complexity. To date, direct links between crypto assets and systematically important financial institutions, core financial markets, and market infrastructures have been limited. In this context, the paper outlines how the policy and regulatory frameworks fit together and interact with each other, but it does not establish new policies or recommendations for the relevant authorities of G20 members. The paper examines the key risks posed by crypto asset activities to macroeconomic stability, financial stability, and other areas such as legal, financial integrity, and market integrity risks posed by crypto asset activities, and presents policy responses to these risks in the areas of macro financial policies, financial stability regulation, and other policies and regulations. In addition, the paper concludes with an implementation roadmap that includes planned and ongoing work related to the implementation of crypto asset policy frameworks, which collectively seek to build institutional capacity across G20 jurisdictions, enhance global coordination, cooperation, and information sharing, and fill data gaps needed to understand the rapidly changing crypto asset ecosystem. And that is all for today's Cosmos Ecosystem Bi-Weekly Review. So if you enjoyed it, Cosmonauts, remember to click that like button, subscribe button, and the bell icon too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you, Cosmonauts, very soon in the next episode.